Hello, this is Nancy and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Today I'm part of the collaboration with Annie at Indiana Jones and several other YouTube creators for the Dark Academia Valentine. And you will hear more information on the contest later on in the video. Those of you that are not new know that I love working with tumbling tower blocks, and this is no different. I'm going to be redoing my little mini living room. I'll leave that link down below for that video. And we're going to start with a stack of mini books, and each block of books is going to be two blocks wide. And then I'm going to add some art glitter glue on the spine to give it some ridges on it, like an old leather book. Whenever we get our new home, I want one of the rooms to be an old library, like all those, old leather books and dark bookcases and club chairs. So this is probably just a little dream that I'm making up myself here. Once I add the glue to all the, I made 6 books in total at different heights. I used my cut-off saw to cut the height of the Jenga blocks or tumbling tower blocks to give it more interest than just the same size. So once those are dry, we'll come back and paint them. This is what it looks like when the glue is dry. You see that it has a little raised edge there to give it some dimension on the spine of the book. And like I said, I made 6. I'm using the Waverly antique wax to paint the books. It'll make them look like an old leather book, and I'll distress it later on as well with the sanding block. For the pages, I'll be using the Art Alchemy and Steampunk Copper. And also for the spine of the book with the raised edges, I'll be adding this copper to that as well. I'm not sure where I got this. I won this on Facebook Live, so I'm not sure where they bought it from. This reminds me of those old leather books with the gilded pages. So it'll give it a more authentic look. You're probably wondering, what does this have to do with Valentine? Well, I love books and I love old libraries, so I thought, hey, this is my love. Besides my husband, of course. I was watching an old British show the other day. I'm not sure which one it was, but they had all these old books on the shelf, and some of them had these elaborate page front covers. So I'm also adding the art glitter glue on the front here as a raised edge, and then I'm going to be using some sticker paper that I'm cutting a piece out and gluing it to the center of the book there. Instead of a brush to paint on the copper, I'm using this silicone, I don't know, tool. And I think it makes it a better finish on it, because the brushes, unless you have a real tiny brush, the bristles spread out and give you a thicker line, but this gives you a nice thin line. You can make more elaborate design on the front of the book or add a different sticker to the front of the book. It's all up to you. When I saw Annie's ad with the open book, I said, oh, I can make one for my little living room. So again, I took 2 Jenga blocks together, glued them together, waited for them to dry, and then I started sanding down an arch on one of the sides to look like the bent pages of a book. It took a while, but it was satisfying to see it come to life. Once again, I used the antique wax for the outside of the book, and then for the top and bottom of the pages, I used the Waverly an elephant or mineral, I can't remember, and then the copper on the sides. For the open pages on this book, I'm using pieces from an ephemera pack that I got from Tin Hopes a few months ago. But you can easily print something out on your color printer and just shrink it down to the size of a book. Not sure why I use Mod Podge on this when I could use my art glitter glue to glue it down, but I'm using Mod Podge here, and just make it a nice, even, generous amount, and then put the pages on top of that. I like butterflies, so you'll see butterflies throughout this video on several different of the mini projects. Even though this book is going to be lying flat on the table, I'm still adding the glue on the spine to add the copper to the spine. On to our next project, a lantern. I got this lantern at Christmas time. It was red and it had holly and berries on it. I took all that off and I'm using the Waverly ink and painting the red lantern black. And then again with the copper, I'm going to be accenting some edges to make it look old and worn. For this video, I added a different background music. I'm thinking of adding a different music for every month so it doesn't get old and stale. Not that anybody else's is getting old and stale. I'm just need something to perk me up. And I hope that this will perk you up as well. And what is Dark Academia Valentine without some love notes? With my We Are Memory Keepers mini punch board for the envelopes, I cut the paper 2x2 and then I'm cutting it down, following the directions to punch and score to make some mini envelopes. To make the envelopes look old and worn, I'm using the Tim Holtz Black Soot Distress ink around the edges and on the flaps. And I wanted to make a little memory box to keep those little love letters in. So I'm using a piece of cardboard and I'm cutting it down to size to fit those little envelopes. So depending on the size of the envelopes, you need to make the box your size to fit. Again, I'm adding the art glitter glue to give it some extra dimension. And once I paint this with the Waverly wax as well, I'm going to be adding copper to those raised edges. I lost some footage, but I did make some love notes and folded them and tied them in twine and put them inside that little box as well. Like I said at the beginning, I'm part of a collaboration with 14, well, including me, 14 other content creators, and I'll leave the playlist down below along with the rules for the contest. Now on to decorating my mini living room, Dark Academia style. First, I got this faux leather from Dollar Tree and I'm cutting it down to cover one of my faux shiplap walls. And I'm going to be using double-sided tape to adhere that to the popsicle sticks on the left there. Again, I'll leave the link for the living room down below. All this decoration is up to you, depending on your style. I wanted to have one of my walls a little darker, and I didn't want to paint the shiplap that I had on there, so I added the leather to one side. Now I'm adding the furniture back in. The rocking chair I made in a live also, I'll leave that link down below. And now we're going to add the little box of love notes. And then the little open book. I added a little ribbon bookmark on it. So you can make this as elaborate as you want. Now I'm making a large frame to go over the fireplace. Also using some of the ephemera pack pieces. Like I said, you could print them out on your printer if you have a color printer, if you want it, or if you want it black and white. And if you've seen it in my other videos for this living room, I have a magnet attached to the top of the fireplace, so I can remove these drawings or paintings whenever I change up the decor. For the frame here, I used the 1/4 inch square dowels, but you could use Jengas if you want to cut it down depending on the size of the picture you want. And what are old books with that old magnifying glass? So I use an epoxy dot that I have. I'm using an oval one because I couldn't find my circle ones. They're about 1/2 inch wide. After I finish this, I found the circle one. Imagine that. But I'm using polymer clay that I'm putting through this extruder to make a nice long skinny ribbon, so I could add it around the faux glass, which is the epoxy dot. And once I have that frame done, I take it off the epoxy dot because it's plastic, and I put it in the oven according to the instructions to bake the polymer clay. Once the clay has cooled down and I glued the epoxy dot to the back, I am coming back again with that copper paint and a little stylus to add some decoration around the magnifying glass. I hope you're enjoying this. If you are, give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, comment below what other decorations or theme you want me to decorate this living room with. Don't forget to go to each of the creators on this playlist and answer the questions if you want to enter to win the package from Indiana Jones. And my question is, earlier in the video I said what kind of insect or animal I liked, so answer that below. And if you remember, it was butterflies. So until next time, be brave, be strong, and create some mini stuff, and wait to the end to see the finished product.